Hey, I'm so glad that you're here with us. Welcome to Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo. I'm Carla Collins, and I realize that you're making fun of me already, if you're watching this, because of my skater girl look. What happened to Avril Lavigne? Because I'm apparently channeling her. And Dr. Zira, I'm very excited about this show because, first of all, there can be some Irish on Irish action. That's really hard to say because we're both already drinking too. Irish on Irish action. Nope, can't say it. My guest today is Fiona O'Brien. Let me tell you this. She immigrated here. There were husbands. There were children. I have so many questions for her. She is, I think, one of the best comics right now anywhere on the globe, and in fact so much so that she's killing it with her new album that was released earlier in the COVID year called Magically Malicious, and I enjoy it so much that I wish that was the Irish album that we got against our will on our iPhones instead of U2. Can we just make that a new thing? Can someone change that? Because then I'm all in. Come on, Bono, take off those shades. So without further ado, the lovely, the talented, she funny, Fiona O'Brien. So can you make that happen? Can we kick off you too? Because I don't download those. Like, I don't know why that's still a thing. Yeah. Why are they?
And listen, Bono has to wear the sunglasses. Did you know that?
Yes, he does. I heard him explain it.
Yeah.
And on Graham Norton, in fact. Yes, he does, which is cool. And you know what? I mean, listen, he's cool. I actually saw him out in the wild once in Malibu.
Yeah.
It was, we were at Nobu. Some rich friend took me. I was a lot of wealthy white women's rescue friend. Like, let's bring Carla, she's a comedian, court jester of sorts, if you will, and she'll entertain us. And we were sitting at Nobu, and I look over, and it was Cindy Crawford and her husband, Randy, George Clooney, and Bono. But I gotta say that, and people are like, oh, Clooney, and I was all, Bono.
Yeah. Well, my best friend in Ireland, one of my best friends, works for them. And she travels all over the world. She does, like, media stuff for them, and parties
and sunglass
with them.
exchange. So she just,
yes.
Why can't I say anything today?
I think you're trying to do an Irish accent.
I'm always trying to. And I'm Collins, so you'd think I can't do any accents, doll. I could just listen to you. I just want you to read Variety magazine to me because it is sexy.
Thank you very much. I wish more people thought that.
Really? I feel like, doesn't the Irish accent work? I mean, is it up there like, the Latina accent is very like, dos huevos, por favor. And that's sort of sexy, and then French is, oh, I'm so skinny. Do not go down on me, you'll get a paper cut. Right, and then mine is just like, like I just feel, if you don't have an accent, it's just basic.
But you do have an accent to me.
Right,
and it's very sexy. Right. Like Irish, I don't think the Irish accent is sexy. I think people stop and listen. But like, it's not, you're not in bed and you're like, horse it into me, Michael. That's not sexy.
And yet, I'm somewhat aroused. And so is the crew. Also, I will be stealing Horse It Into Me, Michael. Even though the guy I'm currently doing is called Craig. It's just going to be a Horse It Into Me, Michael.
It'll be a threesome.
You're unaware. It's my imaginary friend, which we've all had during the pandemic. I see you brought a dog.
Yes. Well, I am the poor Irishman's version of Carla Collins. I eat carbs, and I can only afford a stuffed animal. And I said to my daughter, I was leaving, I said, I'm bringing a dog. Carla always has Dr. Zira with her and looks fabulous and glamorous. And I was like, so I'm bringing Murphy. This is Eddie Murphy. And he is my dog. This is all I can manage.
I thought maybe his first name was Jesus. Isn't that Irish? Jesus Murphy?
No, he's modern. He's Eddie Murphy.
He's Eddie Murphy. Fantastic. I mean, as every comic should have a good stuffed emotional rescue. Is that like a service stuffed dog? I mean, do you have the papers?
Yes, I do.
All right, perfect. You can get them online.
Yes.
I've got them for Dr. Zira. A lot of time I just threaten. People are like, you can't bring that dog this morning. I'm like, I have papers.
Yeah, no one's going to check.
What do you think? They're going to ask what disorder I have?
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Obvious. They just look at this hat and go, it's sad enough. Let her bring the dog in. She needs something. This is a 10-pound chihuahua holding my whole life together. So, all right, so let's do your origin story because it's very mysterious to me. I don't know that much about you. I came back from the U.S. to play a gig, and all of a sudden there was a very funny Irish lady.
Yes. So I came to Toronto with my ex-husband. Well, he wasn't my ex-husband at the time. That'd be weird. He was my husband at the time.
A green card or a passport's a passport.
Yeah. So Ireland had got into a big recession, And he worked in construction, and I was at home being a good Irish woman and shooting out babies. And I was writing comedy for a friend of mine in Ireland, and he was doing stand-up. But I wasn't going and doing it. I was at home with the kids. And then the big recession hit, the construction industry plummeted.
Is this a potato famine?
Very
I don't know
close
my
to.
Ireland history.
Very close to.
Okay.
And then, so that happened in around 2010, and we moved here in 2012 because they were looking for experienced construction workers. And obviously, you aren't finished building Canada. If you walk outside the door of the El Mocambo, there's cranes and everything, you know. They're still building Toronto. So
but just condos, though.
oh yeah, well, just I don't care as long as they're paying me bills.
Exactly. And are they paying you bills?
They're paying me bills.
Good. So he was at, or he could do work in like a Village People cover band.
Could, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what your ex looks like, so.
He looks like, do you remember Patrick Dempsey?
Yes.
He looks like Patrick Dempsey with a grey tooth.
Oh, so like Patrick Dempsey if he came from Northern Ontario.
Yes.
He played little hockey.
Yes, yeah.
Well, wasn't he McDreamy or something? I mean, Patrick Dempsey's a good-looking fella.
He was a good-looking fella.
Yeah.
You know, but we moved here and things...
When did it all fall apart?
It all fell... Let's
Tell
get
me.
into it. It all fell apart when he was at work a lot.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's great, but, you know, you have a wife and 3 kids. And there was a bit of carrying on. And
So like when you say at work, was he doing construction on someone's breast?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not sure what's code or not.
So I'll glaze right over that.
Okay.
And,
just for legal purposes?
Yes. And we got divorced. I'll fast forward to divorce.
Okay.
And we have 3 kids, and they live with me, and he lives with his girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
he sees them every second weekend.
all right, so you get a little break.
I get my break. I go and do loads of shows, except now with the pandemic. You know.
I mean, this is an obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
How has it been for you? Because I know my last show was, I think, the comedy, like real show.
Yes.
We've all been
Yeah.
doing Zoom and various things and puppetry and whatever. A little bit of phone sex, you know, whatever gets us through the night. But I think it was March 11th or something at the Comedy Store. What was your last
My last show
gig?
was kind of exciting. It was at a swingers club in Mississauga.
What?
Yes, and I'm actually a bit upset. I did the show, and it went great. And I've never been to a swingers club. We don't have them in Ireland. We just have the church. So.
Well, either way, you're paying when that basket comes by.
And you're on your knees at some stage.
I'm also Catholic, so this is going to be delicious.
So I was there.
So you're at a swingers club.
Swingers club
were they
show.
swinging whilst you were doing
Some
comedy?
of them were. Like I went out and they brought me on a tour of the facility before the show, and there's a playroom. Well, first of all, you change. There's like a change room. Have you ever been to swingers club?
I have
Don't
not.
Lie.
No.
you haven't. Okay.
I have a similar gig. I'll tell you. But so, what do you mean change? What did you have? Did
So
you
you-
have to become far
You'd wash.
more kinky?
You'd wash,
You'd wash.
and then you'd strip off and leave all your stuff in the lockers, and then you just pop out naked into the club.
Get out!
Yeah. Now, some people were dressed in kinky gear. Most of them were naked. But if you're naked, you have to carry a towel on your shoulder in case you want to sit or need to mop up anything.
So I used to go to a nudist place. When I was younger, that was just outside of Guelph. I know the irony is it was the people who lived there were my bosses at a clothing store I worked at through high school. And they were always, and so and I loved it.
Yes.
I was like I loved being nude. I called my album Recovering Nudist. I enjoyed being nude, but everybody was like 106 and from Germany. So it wasn't like, I felt awkward, right? There was just a lot of older Europeans. What about this club in Mississauga? Was this a good-looking group of nudists?
Well, I felt like a supermodel, so that'll kind of set the bar for you, you know. But when I went...
Mississauga Swingers Club already.
Exactly.
Yikes.
Exactly. Now, and it moved from Lakeshore because they needed a bigger venue. They had so many members.
So many swingers. So are these people that literally come in, they're like, okay, your wife seems sassy, let's do this?
Apparently.
Like a Red Rover situation, right? A first round, like a fantasy football draft.
Something like that.
How bizarre.
Yeah, I was fascinated. I mean, I didn't even take my coat off. I'm Irish. I was like, forget it.
I like any show that you have to wash up
Yeah.
first, a little
And
horse
there's
bath, top and tails.
Yeah, a little bottle of Listerines everywhere, and
This is before the pandemic.
This was. They were. They're probably. I bet you they're all safe.
Yeah,
I bet
because
you none of them have COVID.
very prophetic. So, so are you like basically performing whilst an orgy is taking place?
I was performing in front of about 70, 80 people, and they're all sitting down. One man sat in front of me, and he had a woman on each side, and his arms around both of them, just groping their boobs.
Oh, just ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah,
I always think boobs
honk.
might make that noise. I don't know. I've never been with a woman, but you know, if you get the newest fake breasts, I mean, mine are old school, so they don't play Pandora or do anything fun.
They've
right?
no sounds.
No.
But there was people around watching, and I was like, they're not going to listen to me. But they did. They listened, and it was just boobs everywhere. And I'm not talking like your like lovely big high Playboy boobs. I'm like talking breastfed a village, down to your knees boobs.
Like some of them were sitting on each other's boobs, like, oh, sorry, Marjorie.
Yes,
Sorry, was that your
exactly.
tit? My bad. Well, it can happen at a swingers club. I do have this philosophy that often all the wrong people are naked. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise, and you have like these Baywatch bodies, and they basically are covered. I'm gonna stay in this turtleneck on this beach, and then all like George Costanza's parents are like, yep,
Yeah.
this is my time for my Speedo.
I know, and balls hanging down to their knees. You know? Now, do men get their balls lifted? You know the way women get your boobs lifted?
Well, mine did, but that's only because I pressured him. No, I don't know. I'm sure in LA there's a ball tuck.
There must be.
Positive.
There must be. I was talking about this the other day to them. Anyway, so I did the show, and they laughed and they enjoyed it. And then I went to leave, and I still had my coat on, so it was a quick exit. But a man came running over to me, and he was just wearing a black leather G-string, and he had a naked woman on a leash. And he stopped me at the door, and I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And he said, I just wanted to tell you, you were great, and that my mom is from County Cork in Ireland. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with that information? And I panicked, and all I could think of was, I said, does she know you have a pet? That's all I come up with.
Any allergies?
And, I know, and then I left. Wow. But I woke up the next day.
You should really keep treats with you next time
really
you go. If
should.
you're wearing a coat, and then you just toss the submissive a treat, and they're really grateful.
Yeah, a Scooby snack. But I got the next day, the club emailed me, and they gave me a year's free membership because everybody liked me. And then COVID hit, so I haven't been.
So a little something to look forward to.
Yeah, now when the vaccine comes in, I'll go for a full body wax, and then go down the club.
So just waxing and vaxing is going to be your thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know why they insist on comedy at these things, but I had a similar situation where my friend put on a night, and I didn't ask because I just said, of course, I'll come do comedy.
Yeah.
And it was described as a night of erotica, love, and comedy. And I was like, is this one of my marriages? Is this my honeymoon? And so I had to, first of all, there were two naked women doing yoga with Sanskrit. You know, the body paint hennas all over them.
Yeah.
Behind me, those are not the backup dancers you want. Because
No.
I was also, my ADD, I'm like, I'd rather watch the nude bitches.
Yes.
And I had to follow an old hippie who was because she was just like, your vagina is the solar system. You know what? Like, it wasn't fun. And people were wearing masks.
Yeah.
And I was also just panicking with my ex at the time. And so I just walked up and said, welcome to Christian Mingle. And it got their attention for a while because it's different. But like, they're having sex while they're having sex. So comedy's kind of new and exotic, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They need a bit of entertainment.
They do. You can't just be always orgasming.
No, gets boring.
Wow. I don't know that I'm going to get past Swingers Club in Mississauga for the rest of
I'm
our
going to
interview.
get them to book you.
Absolutely. And I'm not keeping a coat on, by the way.
I know you won't.
Boom! Finally,
You
I'm
fabulous
back.
boobs. I've had 3 kids, for God's sake.
Yeah, but you can have my fabulous boobs. They're leased. They're not my fabulous boobs per se.
I'll get a price off you.
I'll get you 2 for. Make you a good price.
Okay.
Get 2 for 1. So you had also, a lot of people have their quarantine stories and breakups or makeups or unusual, but you had, I think. One I hadn't heard, and I've been delightfully following along on your socials. So I will let you tell the story because I think this happened during the shutdown.
Oh, it did.
Okay.
Oh, it did. When
Talk
we were
to me,
all
sister.
locked in and we couldn't go anywhere. I have 3 kids. My daughter's 15, and then I have 2 sons. One is 13 and one is 11. And I was out in the back garden with the 2 boys, and the 13-year-old said, I want to tell you something, Mom. And I said, okay. And he said, I want to let you know that I'm gay. I want to announce that I'm gay. And I said, that's great. You know, trying to be calm because I'm not trained in raising a gay child yet. I'll have to get a book or something. And I said, okay, as long as you're healthy and happy, that's fine. What I wasn't expecting was his little brother, seconds later, announced, he said, no, I'd like to announce that I'm not gay.
If we're just all announcing shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, you don't say anything. I was like, this isn't like calling shotgun for the car. Like, you just be quiet. Your brother's announcing his sexuality.
It's a big moment for him.
It's a big moment for him. He's like,
and how wonderful that he could say that to you, though. Because sadly, even though 20, 21, I just thought it was such a beautiful, and again, you used a lot of humor, but I mean, Fiona, how fabulous he has you as a mom in that environment, that he was so confident and open. He was so I mean, I knew. You know, but I have to let him come and tell me. I mean, he would wear my dresses, he'd wear all my clothes. He said to me, you know, were there any signs when I was growing up, were there any signs that I was gay? I said, well, apart from the fact that you went everywhere on pink roller skates, you had a silver handbag and a red feather boa. I'm like, apart from that, no, there were no signs. Yeah, of course, I'm his mother, of course I knew he was gay. But we're Irish, and it was going to go one or two ways. He was going to come out or become a priest. And I'd be delighted with either in the family, so. So how did the rest of the family react to this news?
He didn't tell his dad now for a couple of weeks. He didn't want to tell his dad.
He held that back. He held that back.
He held that back. He had told his sister, and she was just so like, yeah, we know, whatever.
And please give me back all of my wardrobe.
Yeah, and she's like, get out of my room. Stop stealing my makeup. And so then he told his friends, started hanging up, and you see, I wasn't sure because he was hanging up a lot of Nicki Minaj posters.
And that can go either way.
That can go either way.
I mean, I have a lot of Nicki Minaj posters just because I'm white and I'm like, I need an ass I can safely put 5 margaritas on.
Exactly.
It's one of my squad goals.
Well, I just kind of went, well, he's just obviously an arse man. He loves arses, you know? And that's what I'm going with. And he wrote his letter to Santa the other day and asked for Nicki Minaj perfume and money. I mean, he couldn't get more gay, right? He's like, I'll have perfume and money, and I'm 13. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I like that he's going to be a power gay, obviously.
Oh, obviously. And all my friends are like, oh my God, can't wait to go to Pride. Now we've got a reason we can be with them on a float in Pride.
Oh my goodness.
And he Skyped my mom, and she's 77 back in Ireland. And my dad died a few years ago. And so Skyped my mom, and he was a little bit nervous. He was like, will Nana be okay? And I said, Nana loves you no matter what. And I just thought her response was hilarious. He Skyped her, and he was like straight in. And she doesn't know where the camera is on her laptop, so we're usually just talking to her crotch or like the top of her hair. Just like a red bouffant. And he's like, hi, Nana. I just wanted to tell you that I came out to Mom and I'm gay. And my mother just looked at the couch. She's like, I couldn't give a shite if you're a trans rainbow as long as you're happy.
Are there trans rainbows? Because I want one immediately.
My mom's trying to be too woke. I'm like, what the hell is a trans?
So you can be over woke, right?
Yeah.
It's almost right back to offensive. I said I was gay. What's a trans rainbow?
Yeah. And he just went, okay, and left.
Wow.
You know?
I mean, I just think I think it's extraordinary that you have that relationship. So you're really doing a lot of things right. That, you know, you're a mom, you're a single mom, that's already a superhero position. And that, I mean, again, you know, you're looking at, like, really, I don't think I have any straight friends. You may be my only straight friend. So for me, and it's been like this since high school, I mean, not to say, so it was just part of, but I know for so many kids, and so many of my buddies would say, Carla, are you sitting down? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what the M. Night Shyamalan twist is on this. Yeah. But they, you know, they didn't have parents like you.
Yeah.
And so they were even still nervous to talk to their pals.
And believe me, I haven't a clue. I haven't trained in this. Like, I'm going to need help. You're going to have to help me.
I will absolutely be your consultant.
Raise this gay boy now. Because And
Hi, I'm Auntie Carla, don't ask.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I've recruited.
I won't have to say anything.
Yeah, exactly. You won't.
I just walk in with
He'll
a chihuahua
see
in
you,
one of
the
my
dog.
outfits. Yeah. And it's going to be like, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you have any idea how to raise a straight kid, though?
Not really.
Because I feel like
I just
any
feed
of us
them.
know how to. Yeah. Just food. Not unlike dogs. Why do you think she's this loyal?
Yeah,
Because
you're
I have
looking after.
treats in my pocket right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think when people say, well, I don't know how to do this or that,
Yeah.
or even as I keep saying during the pandemic, we don't know what tomorrow brings. Do we ever?
No, we don't.
So there is not some type of like TED Talk where you can watch and say, and now I can raise children.
Yes. No, there isn't. It's. I mean, I want to tell you one more thing about my son, but then I'll get back to that. On Friday morning, like my nerves can't handle this. I need training. I really do. On Friday morning, just before the alarm went off for me to get the kids up for school, I heard this high-pitched scream from my son's bedroom. And I was like, Jesus Christ, he's been murdered, right? And I burst into his room, and he's sitting in the bed screaming his head off because Jennifer Hudson, Ariana Grande, and Mariah Carey had just released their Christmas special.
Yes, well, that's the appropriate reaction.
My nerves were gone. I thought he was dying.
I like that you went right to a horrible episode of Dateline.
Oh, yeah.
My son screamed, so he's murdered.
Yeah, so
and
now-
not just dead or hurt or fell off the bed, murdered.
Murdered. And now the problem is that now he screams, and I'm going to ignore him. It'll be the boy who cried wolf. So somebody could murder him, and I'd be like, oh, fucking
Well,
gay.
it's the boy
I'm
who
not
cried
dealing with
Mariah.
it.
That's the boy who cried Mariah. They're just-
Yes.
I mean, again, well, it's better than, I mean, the balance will be your 11-year-old son. Well, you won't be able to discern. It'll be like playing poker for the rest of your life because how is he going to process a feeling? So the two will balance out. I find everything's a balance.
It will balance. And sure, listen, what choice do I have? This is where children have us by the balls. Unconditional love. It's just in us. You have unconditional love for your kids, and they feckin' know it. And they abuse that.
It's why there's a need for ball tucks, because all those kids pulling on them constantly. You
Exactly.
need to. Well, I mean, I think it's just so lovely, and I think also you owe him a lot of gratitude and money because how much, I mean, you know what, it's like every comedian sings like, fuck, I wish I had a gay son.
I
She's
know.
going to have all this great material. I'm sitting here with my
boring,
plain,
straight
basic,
kids.
boring, straight kids. Hormones, whatever.
Yeah.
Get exotic.
I know.
I mean, that is the one thing where someone's like, you've got a rare disease.
Yeah.
You know what would really help my comedy? A rare disease.
Yeah.
Like,
Lucky.
it must be the only profession where like, awesome.
I know.
How bad was the car accident?
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'll have a whole new album on trying to raise him. And he's loving it. I run it whenever I do jokes online or in social media, I'll read them to him. And I'll say, what do you think? And he'll be like, if it's about me, I love it.
Well,
And I'm like, okay.
that's really the only indication you needed.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I'll come in as the fairy drag mother,
Please do. I need you.
which, because we're not really certain if I'm actually a woman, I could just be a marvelous Tucker. I'll come in. And between them, well, it takes a village, darling.
I know.
It takes a village person.
Yes, it really
So,
does.
Yeah, now we've gone full circle jerk back to your ex. But so now you're out in the wild.
Yeah.
And which is always exciting. Now, when I did the show with you and Barry,
Yes.
don't be jealous. It's just the kind of gigs Fiona and I are booking. No, it was wonderful. There was one for Gilda's Club. There was one for the Women and Children's Shelter. And you had a lovely arm piece with you, a lovely gentleman. I was like, oh, look at this. And so what's happened there?
He was fabulous. We were together for a few years. He was my first Canadian.
Oh, wow, you'll never forget your first
You'll
Canadian.
never forget your and let me tell you, they are generous lovers.
Oh, well, otherwise they have to say they're sorry all the time.
Well,
so.
you see, too nice. Too nice.
Too nice can leave, you can also work against it,
Yeah,
right? Because it's
yeah.
like, oh, come on, just throw me down. And
Yeah, and very polite.
Oh.
You know, like I farted in bed one night, and he apologized for hearing it. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be sorry. And then it was just, I'm sorry. And you know.
Send him my way. I've recently become vegan, and I feel like he'll be accepting of my new farty nature.
But we broke up recently, and he's a lovely guy.
Yes.
And I wish him the best. I think I was too much for him. But
Well, you're a powerful woman.
Well, I gave him a good time, you know. I'm exhausted. My ankles are happy to see each other again, so I'm taking a break.
I'm happy to know that you're as flexible as my morals as well. Get to know each other so much in this. So what's it like to be single in the time of quarantine?
Oh, for God's sake, I don't know.
Because I hear that Tinder's still busy, or Grindr, or Timber, that's the Canadian
Yeah.
one, whatever the hell's going on, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend who is gay, and him and his boyfriend are having threesomes. I'm like, who's having threesomes in a pandemic?
Well,
The super spreaders.
I mean,
that's what they are.
I feel like I need to learn you something now. First of all, they have the leather hoods that protect everybody. But also, because I remember when this came out, I'm like, for reals, when the hen houses opened back up, I don't know why I'm using old-timey expressions, with the brothels and whatnot, do you know that there are only 2 positions allowed?
No.
Now, this is I'm not doing a bit here, so you can probably guess what they are during a pandemic time.
Yeah.
So it's doggy.
Yeah.
Everybody guesses that one.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
I'm guessing it's going to be oral sex.
I'm
guessing we're flying on Aer Lingus again.
Okay, see, Aer Lingus. So that's the Irish airline?
Yes.
I laugh every time I hear it. I can't. I text my friend, like, Aer Lingus. I take pictures of it at LAX. They're like, yes, we get it.
Yeah.
But no, it's reverse cowgirl. Because, see, you're not face to face.
I only do that when Coronation Street's on, because I don't want to miss it.
And I assume as a divorced single mother, you do the reverse mortgage cowgirl. Am I right?
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, you're still getting my shtick.
Yes.
You're still getting my bad jokes. So that's, apparently those are the 2 things allowed. So maybe that they found a way in their threesome to
Well,
to
I'm not
just
doing
do-
either of them. I'll wait for it to all come back online.
So now, are you also a giving lover?
I think I am. And I would like it to be put out there to the world now that I'm single again. All those children were born by cesarean sections.
Oh, so you're keeping things tight.
Undercarriage in perfect working order.
Beautiful,
And
yeah.
like a little headrest on top, like a beanbag.
Well, what fella isn't going to go for that?
That's kind of accommodating.
Well, I think, it's cozy.
Yeah.
But it's still tight. And I think that's all we're all looking for. We want to feel safe.
Yeah. You want to feel,
And
and I'll
soft.
get up and make you a shepherd's pie. Like, what
No,
more do
now
you
I
want?
feel like you're just threatening me.
A vegan shepherd's pie.
But I'm even when I wasn't a vegan, like the shepherd's pie. I worked at a British pub in Guelph, Ontario, Duke of Grafton. By the way, I don't think I've ever made that much money ever again.
Yeah.
I really because I was one of the bar wenches.
Of course.
This may have been slightly before me too, kids. And I remember there was a Scottish guy. I don't know why this is. And I'm 18. I'm not just because I was tall for my age. I'm getting in there. I'm like, I'm going to help out my first year at university, and we had to wear like total bar wenches, right? And singing. There was a man called Jimmy Johnson who used to say, "Carla, I've got a number here. In 45 minutes, I can get a lassie here to sit on my face."
Wow.
And it just absolutely scarred me. And I was like, okay, and I remember thinking like Domino's pizza, but different. And I was like totally naive, but the bar tab would be $25 and there'd be a couple hundreds. My mom thought I had become a hooker. I was just coming back with a lot of cash.
Jesus.
British pubs are the way to go.
I'm going to send my daughter there.
Oh, like tomorrow.
Yes.
Look, you're going to have to pay for all your son's outfits. And it's not cheap because great taste, right? You're at Louis Vuitton.
Oh.
It's high end, hun. I mean,
I can't afford them. Jesus Christ. I'll release an album about him, and then he can have that money.
Exactly. That ought to do it. So what's next for you?
I'm supposed to be going to Halifax to film for the CBC, the Halifax Festival.
Fabulous.
We were supposed to go in April. Obviously, everything got cancelled, and they had to only do it with the Atlantic bubble. So.
Yeah, because they won't let us near there. Like Ontario and Quebec are the bad boys, right? We're dirty. We're filthy.
We're living on the edge.
We
here.
are just drinking a cup of COVID for breakfast or something. They won't. I had no idea that was in play.
Yeah.
And someone just told me, oh no, you can't go to the East Coast.
Yeah.
And you can go to the West Coast, but you can't drive because you're not allowed in Manitoba. And I'm like, these are some wild rules.
Oh, it's crazy. But so I'll be off to the Halifax Festival next, in a couple of months. Please God, we'll get our vaccines and I'll head over there.
Now, a lot of us are like, these vaccines you speak of, I'm a little worried about what's in them. And I don't mean the conspiracy theorist chips. I mean, they seem a bit rushed.
Yeah.
And, sometimes when that happens, you're not fully cooked, you might be concerned, like, I don't mind a third nipple. I think that's only
Yeah.
going to help my life. But some people are against that. But you, I've noticed online, you're like, I'll take 5 vaccines right now.
Yeah. Listen, the way I feel is you've had one prick, you've had them all. I'll have anything. You can put whatever you want in me at this stage.
I think it's just that you want to get back to that swingers club.
Yes, yeah. My membership, I asked them to freeze it. I want that full year. Freeze that now, because I'll be back.
Freeze that, along with my eggs, in case I want new material.
Oh yeah, no, that shop is shut.
Yeah, is that it?
That is it.
Yeah,
That's it. I had
a 3 and done.
That's actually one thing I had done during the pandemic. They were still installing IUDs.
Well, I guess for married bubble couples,
maybe,
let's call them. I don't know.
I went, but it's very expensive.
I don't know anything about IUDs because they
IUDs.
really scare me.
Well,
I never went that route. I was just doing a lot of rhythm method and some Wiccan chants.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that the reason I'm childless is because you don't even understand how much birth control. I was like Norton antivirus, Shaolin monks, terracotta warriors. I was like,
wow.
Oh yeah, the river Styx, the band Styx, like you'd have to get past Gowan in order to impregnate me. Like it was a tight ship I was
Yes,
running, but
you're
never
right.
did the IUD.
Well, I did the IUD because I am so Irish. I had my tubes tied in Ireland and I still got pregnant. And when I went to the doctor, I'm like, what is going on? And he said, oh my God, this only happens to 1 in 1,000 people. You need to leave here right now and buy a lotto ticket.
That's what I was going to advise. So they just untied themselves?
I have no idea. It's rare, but I think it's because I'm so Irish. And
Or it's like, is it like, I mean, that's kind of like, do you think your youngest is Jesus or something?
maybe. I don't know. I might have to call the Pope and let them know.
I think you should. You might be able to get some dowry. I don't know how it works, but I feel like if your tubes untie themselves.
I don't know. They put on clips. I don't know whether a clip fell off. There's a clip rummaging around. I don't hear it when I'm jumping up and down.
Well, no wonder you don't mind a vaccine. You've got like
care.
a clip just whitewater rafting up and down your body.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna vaccine up and then.
Yeah. But the IUD I got to put in. I think it was April. Mm-hmm. And they're very expensive. $550.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I had a toll gate put in at the same time. You get 5 minutes for a toonie. So.
I just assume that there's a troll that is going to ask your next suitor a question. Here's a riddle to solve if you want to get through here.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It's
you've
really
got to
paid
make
off.
it worth it. Like I mean, remember there was the classics. I don't know if we watched Seinfeld because this
Yes,
would have been. So there's the classic Spongeworthy episode where they stopped making the sponge birth control, and Elaine only has so many, so every guy had to be sponge-worthy. So now you need an IUD-worthy guy.
And toll worthy. He's going to need change. Yeah.
See, that's why I can't go to Canadian strip clubs. Because I got used to the U.S. and, I like to make it rain and help out the girls now that my student loans are paid off.
Yeah.
And I can only make it hail. Like I'm throwing loonies and toonies at these poor small town girls wherever I'm on tour and they're just dragging their thong. Like it's not, we're not pirates. I don't know what's happening. It does. It's not, it seems cruel. Here's a toonie. Oh my God, you're fabulous. So, I mean, because obviously, people are listening, I want to give you the last word. I mean, I've been asking people about, what's kind of getting them through the night, what their chuckle and their chill is, how you find your center. You can't even find the clamp that was holding your tubes together, so I'm not going to ask you that. So instead, I think I'm going to take this occasion for you to, I want this to be like the Rocks app, Roxer, let's say, and you tell us what you're looking for in a gentleman. Because I'll be babysitting your gay son for the rest of your life, so you're going to have some time to go out there and mingle.
Do you know what? I may even consider becoming a lesbian.
Oh, yeah.
I might go down that. I've never done that.
Me either. I've never gone full. I mean, I always say the perfect woman for me is the Little Mermaid, because if I've gotten drunk, I've only done above the waist action with ladies.
You see, my vagina is a full-time job. I don't know if I can take on another one. So I'm not sure if I even want to. What about when you're both on your period? You fucking kill each other.
I have to say, I can't imagine. And I always think it's sexy, right?
Yeah.
And I always brag and tell my guy friends like, oh, my next husband will, I joke my next husband will be black or Latino or how about a woman? And then I'm basically like a Democratic primary voter. I went for the old white guy.
Well,
I played it safe again.
Yeah. I think I need a rest for a while now. I put a good few miles on the clock with the last fella. And I'm tired.
Are there only so many miles? What happened? Like, is your vagina leased? Did you blow over the mileage this year? I'm confused.
Kind of. The last few years I did. You know, so I think I'll have a bit of a rest, and then when the vaccines are out,
right?
You know, then I'll think about it. Then I'm in no hurry.
And how long before they meet your children? I'm always interested in that.
Now, I like to wait a long time because you don't know what you're bringing into the house, you know?
Well, because serial killers are sexy, first of all. They have to be,
They're
grifters
charming.
have to be charming.
Yeah.
That's how they stay alive.
Yeah, or they offer you sweets, and I'll go for that too.
So I want you to stay away from unmarked white vans.
Okay, I will.
I love you too much now. I tell you what, if I go be in, we'll talk.
Okay.
We'll meet back up. This will be like one of those beautiful old-timey love stories, right?
Okay.
Like where we meet on top of the, like, say, the CN Tower.
Okay.
In 10 years.
Yes.
If both of us are single, and then we go full being.
Okay.
But
we'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'll bring you to the swingers club.
That's the first thing I'm doing when I get out. It's been a delight.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is
Oh,
the most
my God.
glamorous thing I've done since March.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And thanks for having Eddie Murphy.
Anytime. Well, you know, it's a very dog-friendly set.
Yes.
We any kind of emotional support, stuffed animal is fine with me. And you're gorgeous. I love you. The album, by the way, is called Magically Malicious. I believe it was #1 at iTunes when it first came out. Because of the Irish vote, I think.
Well, that's all my cousins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you have like 7,500 cousins,
First
right?
cousins.
Perfect.
That doesn't even mention the seconds.
I only have the one, and I made out with them. I'm from Northern Ontario.
I know.
Yeah. So. I know. It explains so much. Like that. So you're a darling, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
She's lovely. She's Magically Malicious. Or Fiona O'Brien. I don't know how to follow her on social, and you'll find out how the sun's doing. It's worth the trip. It's fabulous, and yeah, you're lovely. See, if I try an accent, I just sound like Marvin Martian.
Well,
like this is my Matthew McConaughey. Like all right. Like I can't.
Yeah, that is Marvin the Martian.
It is
doing Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish.
I was doing a show last year up in Muskoka. And a woman came up to me and she had a gorgeous Irish accent. And I was like, oh, great, somebody from home. And I said, where are you from in Ireland? I said, you sound like you're from the north, from Belfast. And she said, no, I'm not Irish. She said, it's just I only like to have sex with Irish men. And I said, I don't think that's how it works. I said, if that was the case, I'd have a very thick Jamaican accent. And I don't yet.
Yet. I think we know who the next Bachelor is going to be for Fiona. And I think this show has had more false endings than Freebird, and I like that. I think that's a good sign. We're both tantric.
Yeah.
This show went on forever and nobody came. That's just COVID or a Canadian award show.
Thank you.
I want to thank the fabulous Fiona again. I just adore her. She is such a funny woman. I love working with her. And if I didn't love her already enough, she just adopted a beautiful doggie called Nutella. Also, Fiona has her own podcast you should check out called Cracking Up, wherever you find your podcasts. And you're thinking, what is that squeaky noise in the background? And that's my left breast. I have to be honest, I got the ones that came with sound effects because I thought that would really amuse the millennials. That's the newest addition to the funny farm. Gay fiance and I, Michael Stewart Webb, who is also the producer of this show, we have adopted a new son. What do we call him? Anyway, he is a 5-year-old Great Dane, and he too is called Duke. So he's Duke 2.0. He is fitting right in, and he and Cadbury are just out of the screenshot. So you're going to hear some panting and some goofing off. I just thought I should mention that. And we are thrilled to have him. He's just a big bag of love. He's also moving my... Don't fuck with my lighting, Duke. I have but one rule. So we're thrilled to have him. And I wanted to tell you about a couple things. One is, we're doing another podcast. I feel like it's a clown's horn that I keep grabbing. You know how we're being encouraged to double mask? Well, we're double podcasting, and Gay Fiance and I have started something called the Doucheless Vegan. And you can find that on the Doucheless Vegan YouTube channel, or wherever you find, it's basically everywhere. It's on iHeart and Apple and Stitcher, and it's like in 1,000 places. So you can find that. We have a couple of episodes up, and it's not so much about being vegan as it is Gay Fiance and I dishing, talking about ridiculous stuff. For example, in the latest episode, we talk about Michael's one-night stand. That only happened once. And I don't mean just with that guy, I mean ever. He's only had one-night stand, kind of like me. I'm basically him with tits. And a myriad of things. You'll find out what cancel clear culture is all about, and how I was shocked to find out that my vag was British. I know, it's wearing a fascinator right now. It's not that comfortable. So, the Doucheless Vegan, we thought we should start this podcast because we saw a bit of a void in the market, as typically people who are vegans are militant, and they're always trying to recruit you, and they act like it's a cult, and they're all judgy. And Michael and I are judgy, but not about what you eat, or about what you wear. So it's really fun, and and we're doing it because we thought, hey, Michael, being a lifelong vegan, was able to show me some great vegan life hacks. He makes delicious meals. He knows where to find the best meatless burger. By the way, it's A&W if you're going fast food, where to find great cheese alternatives that are delicious. So we're just going to, if you're thinking of trying vegan, even if it's just for one night a week, we'll save you lots of time and money with my vegan Obi-Wan. He's the emotional support vegan. So we'd love you to check that out. And we want to welcome Duke. So I thought I would end today's show. It's not so much a quote as I'm pretty sure a lot of you are probably going to be familiar with the 4 agreements, and that's Don Miguel Ruiz. My good friend Donna Roberts introduced it to me years ago. My brother adapted it because he's got a man crush on Tom Brady, and Brady used it when he was going through something difficult. And for whatever reason, I just thought it spoke to me this week. So the 4 agreements basically are: be impeccable with your word, which is difficult because I'm currently enjoying a port cocktail. That's port and Grand Marnier. Let's say I'm impeccable-ish with my word currently. The second is don't take anything personally. I gotta tell you, I'm still trying to conquer that. I think a lot of us struggle with that. The third is don't make any assumptions, naturally, but I think we're always leaping to conclusions. And the fourth is just try your best. So I thought it kind of reflected the times, and also, I'm like a tall Yoda wearing fluvogs. It's also from Fiance. Best relationship ever. Thanks for watching. I think we should come up with the 5th agreement, though. The 5th agreement is keep on rocking. And I like that dogs are hitting cameras. They're hitting lights. What do you want, bitches? This is what it's like to tape from home. You know we're all going through it. So until next week, take good care of yourself, stay healthy and reasonably sane. Check out the Doucheless Vegan if you can. Also, check me out. I have a couple of handles now on Insta. I have at Carla Collins Comedian, and I also have at Chuckle and Chill. Chuckle and Chill is how I'm kind of rebranding comedic meditation. I've been doing a ton of them lately, which you know I love because it's my baby. I'm doing couples now. Also, I'm doing comedic meditation for couples. We're all pivoting during this shutdown and pandemic. So check out at Chuckle and Chill or comedicmeditation.com. That was some advice from a young kid. He's like, you've got to separate your brands. And I'm like, I am the brand, son. And with that final toot from Duke, I bid you a wonderful week. Thanks for watching Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo. Thanks again to Fiona O'Brien. She is you just want to have drinks with her. I kind of want to move in with her and her gay son, I'm going to be honest. I love her. Thank you for doing the show, and take good care. You guys are making me look like jerks.